And welcome to the show. Thursdays, it seems to be it for a minute, like I said last week. Um, every week I get a little bit better, a little bit more energy, although today is a low energy day. I had physical therapy yesterday and he tried to kill me. When I left there, I was actually sweating. I don't know. It was just unbelievable. He's just a young Asian dude. You wouldn't think that he was such a vicious tormentor. But man, he had my behind going, ouch, 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 for the whole 45 minutes. I thought I was going to die. But anyway, welcome to What the Fuck Tuesday. That's the name of the show, but it's now What the Fuck Thursday, like I said, for a few weeks. Um, what we do here is people send in questions in advance. My lovely cousin Candace puts them into a document. And so I read the questions out loud and then answer them off the cuff. I don't have any advance notice of the questions. You hear the question and you know just about as much about it as I do. So don't ask me, well, what do they mean? And what about this? And because we don't know. All we know is what's in the letter, okay? So we work with that. If you are not a subscriber already to this channel, please hit that subscription button. We're trying to make 30,000. That would be nice. Should have hit that a long time ago, but man, if I could just stay vertical for a minute, I guess it would be all right. So today we have a grand total of 18 advice questions. So that's two more than we've been having. Somebody's being very optimistic. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, What the Fuck Thursday for May 26th. 18 advice questions for today. Let's go. Question number 1. It's a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group out of Dallas, Texas. She is an Aquarius. She says, "Hi, Deb. I've been dating for a while now with no good results." Join the club. "I am 27 and I do not want to have children. I have never in my life desired to be a mother, and I'm 99% sure that I never will. I do love children but desire none of my own. This has definitely reduced my dating pool significantly. I'm unsure how to go about dating like this." I have had experiences where it gets brought up by the man, and once I disclose that I am child free, he assumes I'm some kind of psychopath or mansplains to me that I'm actually unsure and will change my mind. Isn't that interesting? I started using Hinge because you can disclose your child free situation and preferences on there. I checked the box that I don't want kids and even wrote a prompt about it that will not change my mind on this matter. I still have dudes hit me up trying to change my mind about having their kids. This sometimes even happens before the first date. It's bizarre and has made me want to give up on dating. I don't know how to find other child free men, and it's really messing with my head. I'm an attractive Latina woman with a good career, so my dating pool is already slim to none. So many dudes get upset that I have a career that supports me and I don't fulfill the stereotype of wanting to be mother of 5 basic dusty shit. I am accepting of the idea that there just isn't anyone out there for me, but I'm open to on your take. I have deleted the app but want to continue trying. I'm looking for a partner in which I can grow and travel with. Is there anything else I should be doing to increase my chances of finding a guy that isn't dusty and does not want children? You know, there are a lot of guys that don't want children. You just haven't met up with them. One thing that concerned me, thank you for mentioning your ethnicity, because sometimes that, I don't ask that question on the submission form, but sometimes, culture has a lot to do with how people respond to certain ideals. And I do believe, since from my knowledge, I'm not saying this, the full scope of the world or anything, a lot of Latin people are Catholic. And so they don't believe they like to have large families. So if you got that kind of mentality as a man and you thinking that you're going to, have 3, 4, 5 kids, and then you have this woman who's straight up telling you out the gate, I'm not having nothing. It's probably culture shock for them. I'm not saying that, they wouldn't understand, but I'm just saying it's probably just hits them so hard that they have never met anybody who's Latina who says that. And so they don't know what to do with that. So please give them a little bit of slack. I think a lot of it is that they're just shocked. Just like a lot of brothers be shocked when I guess it's more common now, but like in the 90s when they would meet a sister that didn't believe in God and Jesus and all of that, they wouldn't know what to do with her because it was so opposite of the cultural teachings. You see what I mean? That's what I'm getting at. So that is one thing. The other thing you have to consider, this came to mind when I was reading your letter. Would you be open to dating somebody who's older who already has kids? He might not want any more kids, but what if he already has one or two? Is that an option for you? Think about that. Especially if he was married and it was the same situation and all of that, he might, if you had custody, visitation, right, or you got married to dude or whatever, and he had visitation every other weekend or something, would that be something that you could tolerate or no? You don't want anything to do with kids. I'm just throwing this out there as an option because it opens up more doors for you. um, you're only 27, so saying getting with some guy who's, around 45 who has adult kids might not be what you want to do because that's a little bit outside of your age group, but that's another possibility. He would just be a little older cat than what you're probably used to. The other thing is, instead of trying the dating apps, which tend to be, I think, more of a hookup mentality, how about some of the sites? What's that one they used to advertise on TV all the time? eHarmony? Those kind of sites where you have to fill out the profiles and it goes deep into the personalities and all that stuff. I can just tell you, though, this was many years ago. Some of my friends decided it was time for me to get back out there dating. And so they set up a profile for me in secret on there. I guess it was a free weekend or something like that. They had a free 3-day thing for some holiday weekend. So they put me on there, and honey, like, of course, according to that, all the matches that I had were like old white men that was like in their 50s and stuff. And at the time, I'm like in my 30s. So I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that. I don't care about the race so much, but the age was just. Damn, they had kids practically old as me. That just wasn't working for me. But those are a couple of ideas. Also, look on like online and see if you can find any kind of organizations or meetups or something like that with child free in it in your area. Oh yeah, that's right. You in the South. Oh girl, you got the double whammy. You in the South and you Latina. This is gonna be. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it might be a struggle. And try also looking at men of other ethnicities, because a lot from what I've seen is a lot of white dudes that don't want to have kids either. So you might be okay there. But you're gonna have to figure out some different avenues to open up your dating channels. I think that's gonna be the secret to your success. All right, let's move on to question number 2. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group. He's an Aries out of San Jose, California. So I have been with this girl for about 2 years, and I do love her. And I love spending time with her, just cuddle together, watching movies, sleeping, or going on trips together. However, I am quite introverted. Being around other people, my girlfriend included, is draining to me. Ooh, honey, I understand. So I need a weekend for myself to recharge, do some work and hobbies, etc. However, my girlfriend doesn't seem to understand this. We need to see each other every other weekend. No, we used to, I'm sorry. That was perfect for me. Then we would see each other for 3 weekends. Then we went to the same work together where we lived together for 2 months and constantly. And then after that, we were seeing each other pretty much every weekend. Oh, this is kind of long. I explained to her my feelings and needs, and I love her and love spending time with her, but sometimes I just need to be alone, to put my phone down instead of constantly replying to her and do some work or relax uninterrupted. But she got mad, and we did have other problems at the time. Fast forward to a few months ago, we settled most of those problems, but the free time one has persisted. I again tried to explain to her my feelings and needs, and this time she seemed to understand, and we kept the bi-weekend policy for about a month, and then it went back to every weekend. Oh boy, okay, then he's talking about something about some muffins or something. So I guess he went to see her and spend time with her. Since the moment I arrived home, she texted me that even though she has her final exams on Monday, she could come and visit me. I told her that we didn't talk about spending this weekend together. She was telling me she has to learn. And we were together the past 3 weekends. But I offered to take her out swimming tomorrow because she wanted to go for about a week, and that she could sleep at my place after that. What she did, you guessed it, She got upset and doesn't talk to me now. Oh, well, there's that space you wanted. What's the problem? Dude, you wrote too much. I understand why she wants to constantly come over because she shares her small room with two of her younger siblings. Her parents are choleric. Does that mean cholera? Screaming at each other and at her for every stupid little thing. She doesn't really have any hobbies except for mobile games and soap operas. And when she's with me, there's no one screaming at her. She's appreciated for her work. I try to be very positive with her and praise her for everything she does, as neither of her parents do. And she doesn't have to do a lot of work, maybe help me with the dishes or sometimes with cooking or cleaning. But it can but I can't trade my own mental happiness and give up all my free time just so she can be in a normal household for a few days per week, right? How can I tell her in a way that she can accept? It doesn't matter. Okay, what I just saw that you did see, this is the main thing, just like training a dog. You can't say one thing and do another. You got to be consistent. And when she said, we didn't talk about getting together this weekend, and we're not going to get together this weekend, I'll see you next week. That's what you were supposed to say. Instead, you folded, oh, well, I'll take you swimming. So now, you're training her that you don't mean what you say. That's how you're in this situation, sir. You have to set a plan and then you stick to it. Every other weekend needs to be every other weekend. If you need to send her, put it in her calendar or mark it some kind of calendar that you guys both have access to, where you can put your dates on there or some Google calendar or whatever you all got, Outlook, whatever you use, put it on the calendar, weekend at, whatever your name is, house. And then next weekend, stay home. And you have to be consistent with that. You can't just change the plan every time she puts a little pressure on you. First of all, let me tell you something. As quiet as it's kept, a lot of men don't know this. It's not that women don't like nice guys. What women don't like are weak men. And the way that you're coming off right now is very weak. It's like you say it, this is what you want, and this is what's the best for you, and all the stuff. This is what you want, and then as soon as she throws a little temper tantrum or like a toddler, then you fold. That's weakness, sir. You better get your shit together and stop acting like that. Say what you mean and mean what you say and carry through. Okay? It's not like you have to use different words. She understands perfectly. But she knows that she can just throw a little flip out and you can go, okay, and let her come over anyway. The main thing, too, what you need to do is tell her, you need to work on developing yourself. I cannot be your sole sense of entertainment, source of entertainment or comfort or anything like that. What do you do to bring comfort and entertainment to yourself? Playing mobile games and watching TV or whatever she does is not a life for somebody as old as you. Get some hobby, do some interests, get you some friends, do something with yourself. Because you're putting too much pressure on me to be the sole source of your joy. And it's killing the joy for me. She wouldn't want to be my girlfriend because I'd be like, look, if you don't stop, we're going to break up and then you're going to never be over here any weekend. Is that what you want? I said every other weekend. You better make it work. And then she would just be looking at me and then I'd just be looking at her and I'd be like, so I'll see you in 2 weeks. And that'll be that. But yeah, I know what you mean though about introverts. You start to feel drained and pressured. Try being married. You never get away from them. You never get away from them. It's just, they're there all the time, just looking at you and wanting to touch you and be up under you and just breathe the air that you breathe and look at you all the time and touch you all the time. It's like, don't you have somewhere to go? I used to throw my husband out. It's like, go to your mother's house and do something with yourself. You're getting on my nerves. He's like, oh, I just want to be with you. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't with you. I just need you to go somewhere else right now before you get cussed out. And so then he would go. But I mean, why did it have to go to that point? So I'm there with you. I'm the same way. I might, go in another room and just read a book while he was home thinking he was going to be with me. I'll go in the room and slam the door and lay across the bed and read a book or look at a magazine or something. Because I just need that alone time. And it's hard to do though when you have a partner who doesn't understand it, who's not like that. I mean, he gradually, got to understand, but it was a struggle at first. So I can feel your pain. But that's the main thing is you have to be consistent, okay? Don't tell her one thing and then let her manipulate you into something else. Stick to your plan. Question number 3. This is a young lady in the 35 to 41 age group out of Cardiff, Wales, talking about a man in the 35 to 41 age group as well. Let me get over here so I can see the comments. I forgot about y'all. Hey, what's Nerly talking about? I'm just seeing this. Yes, I'm happy to see myself back too. You see, my voice is still all jacked up. Child, wait. I tried singing. It was awful. I used to sing lead second soprano in this choir that I was in. It was a school choir, not a church choir. I was the lead second soprano. I could sing like a little canary. I don't know what happened. So my voice was all scratchy and flat. I was like, oh, let me just shut up before I start killing small animals. It was terrible. So hopefully my voice will correct itself at some point. So anyway, let's talk about this lady from Cardiff, Wales. She says, hi, Deb. I am a single professional woman who has no children and would like to have a family. Oh, she's the opposite of previous girl. My sister has suggested I go to a sperm bank to have a child. However, I'm not comfortable with that idea. Recently, I have been back in touch with a man I was talking to about 10 years ago, and we both would like to have children, so I want to give us a chance. 10 years ago, I was freshly divorced and neither of us were ready. Now in 2022, we have been talking seriously about starting a life and family together. We feel we are compatible, we have similar values, and would have a loving, secure relationship. In that 10-year period, he had a brief marriage and now has two children that are 5 and 6. They live in another country with their mother, and he is taking legal action to have access to them. I would like to have a child with him and have a second chance at love for both of us. However, I make good money and have my own property, which has stayed in my family for decades, plus savings. I got played by a Dusty in my first marriage, and it made me extra protective. This man isn't a Dusty, however, I'm not sure I want to share my resources with the two children he had before me. I never wanted to date a man that has children. However, now that the man I'm dating, or the men that I'm dating are in their 40s, they all seem to have kids. If we combine our lives by having a child and a marriage, how can I ensure the hard work my grandparents, parents, and myself invested in me financially won't end up going to children that aren't even mine? Is there any way to reasonably have a marriage and a child with someone that has prior children without having to also be responsible for them financially, e.g., their child support being taken out of our joint account rather than his own money? It would be an awkward conversation to have. Of course, I would be a loving and caring towards his children. I just don't like the thought of me doing the labor of childbirth and also wanting to support children that aren't mine when I've always intended to give to my children everything I have. Thanks in advance. You need to see an attorney, or as they call it in the UK, a solicitor. And you need to put all your family stuff in a trust. Trusts are worldwide. I mean, they might call it something else, but the concept is a worldwide one in the legal community and court systems. That's what you do. So your family heirlooms, but you could have some jewelry or some other stuff too, as well as the property will be in the trust, which is untouchable no matter what you do, him, his kids, whatever. You're going to have to name a trustee if something happens to you. And then what happens to the property after that if something happens to you? Where does it go if you don't have any children? Now, I'm going to say this. If it were me, I would not do this. I would not do this. If I was going to have a baby by him, I sure wouldn't marry him. I don't know what the laws are in Cardiff, Wales. You might want to run this by your solicitor again. But, like if you live together with the man, does he automatically, get the rights of a husband, or do you have to actually formally be married under the law? Is Cardiff, Wales, is that Wales a community property country? So what you own becomes his. That's what I'm saying. You better put your stuff in a trust before you make that move. Personally, if I were you, I would follow your sister's advice. You must not have really listened to these columns to see all the drama that women have who are married and want to leave or divorce the man, and the changes that he puts them through behind them kids. Especially when you have money and stuff, you probably have more than him. If he's gonna fight you for custody so he can get child support out of you, what you gonna do? See, these are things you need to think about because you're a more mature and settled woman. You have a lot to lose in a situation like this. And personally, listen, it was great that you want to hook up with somebody 10 years from 10 years ago and all this, but he got a lot of baggage coming in the gate, and you don't really know this man. You don't know who he is now. You only knew who he was 10 years ago. I think you put the cart before the horse. I think you need to slow down, and I think you need to visit with an attorney and run all of this by them, and then consider your financial options and your legal obligations that you would be under to this man and his kids in whatever the laws are in Cardiff, Wales, and then you need to take your happy ass to the sperm bank and make it happen. That's what I think. Your sister telling you the right thing, and you just don't want to listen. I'm not comfortable with that. Why are you not comfortable with it? What's the difference? Do you not understand how many women worldwide, even if they're married, still live their lives like a single parent? Ain't shit happening. These men don't do crap. They don't do nothing. Or they might placate the kids and change the diaper or give them a bottle or something. 99.9% of the child care responsibility, homework, parties going, party planning, all that stuff, Christmas gift buying, birthday gift buying, all that stuff is on the mom. So I'm really wondering what it is that you think you're going to get from marrying some man that you don't even know and haven't really had contact with for 10 whole years. This clown, girl, you tripping. You better get your ass to a sperm bank and make magic happen. Forget you ever saw this clown. Question number 4, male, 22 to 27 from Corpus Christi, Texas. Deb, I need help. My ex-girlfriend is stalking me, and it's corrupting my current relationship. Oh, wow. I've already blocked her on all my social media, and I've deleted them, and I made new ones. But she still finds ways to contact me. She keeps calling me from different numbers. Currently, I've blocked 6 phone numbers. All of them she uses to try to contact me. I went with my girlfriend to spend some time alone by the beachside, and my ex's friend was there too, following us. My current girlfriend is too afraid to go anywhere because wherever we go, she'll be there. And we go to the same university too, so if I'm in a group of friends, she always forces her way into the circle. I've reached my limits with her. Any tips? Yeah, go and get a restraining order. I mean, the very fact that your girlfriend won't even go anywhere with you because she's scared, it's a sign that this girl's doing too much. I mean, have you been logging all of these things that she's doing? These calling you from different numbers and all this kind of stuff? You've been keeping track of that? Because you would need to attach that documentation to your application for a restraining order to make her stay away from you and all her friends stay away from you. If you don't want to go that route, what else can you do? You can change your phone number, right? Don't give it to anybody. You can get you a Google phone number, just like I tell women. Get you a Google number and have it set up to ring to your phone. That's the number that you put out in public on profiles and stuff. You do not use your real number. You don't put your real phone number on the internet. I don't know why people do that. It shouldn't be connected to anything. Use your VoIP number, okay? And it can ring right to your phone just like it is your number. Nobody will know the difference. But, that's how you protect yourself, and you can screen the calls that way. Yeah, change the number and then change all the phone number things on your social media pages or just close them down. You got a girlfriend. What you need to be on social media for anyway? I was telling it, young men don't need, you ain't using your social media to make some damn money. Close that fucking account. You don't need to be online, sitting up there with your face grinning at everybody and posting pictures like a girl. Stop it. Close your social media accounts. You don't need them. The only reason you need it if you got a show on YouTube or you got a show somewhere or something that's making you some money. You in some kind of investment group, and that's how y'all contact each other. You president of some club or school or something, and so you're on their page because that's how people contact you. Something like that, then you should be on social media. Otherwise, there's no reason for you to be on social media. You got you a woman. Get your ass off there. Close all them accounts and change your phone number immediately. This is ridiculous. And then look into a restraining order for the third and final thing. I mean, I just cannot stand it. I made a post about that the other day. What is this with all these men spending all this time on social media? What the fuck? You should be out doing something with yourself, making some damn money or something, building something, creating something, doing something intelligent with your time. That's like manly. Do something. Get off the internet. Okay, all these men sitting up there going on pages and typing all these long-winded book comments and stuff. Motherfucker, you got all that to say, write a book. Do something with yourself. Do a TED Talk or something where you can make some damn money. Yeah, it's a turn off, and they don't even see it that way. Any man sitting online want to argue with women on the internet, you a little bitch. You need to stop. Seriously. It's just so unmasculine, so dainty, and so girly. It's just gross. I don't understand why they do that. And to be online for hours when they should be doing something, making some money. I could see it if they was in some kind of chat and they was learning about investing or something, building something, or how to file a patent or something. You know what I mean? Something like that, something that's going to build them up. how to get your first property and, using other people's, something like that. Okay, I could understand you being on the internet for something like that. But you're just going on Facebook and TikToks and all these places and just hoorahing around and just wasting time. No, motherfucker, get your ass off the internet and do something intelligent with your time. I just can't stand it. It's like, what kind of men are these? I just don't understand it. I would not want a man who stayed on the internet all the damn time. That means you don't have enough to do. I need to clone myself. I have so much to do. And you got time to sit around on the internet just playing around all the time? No, we can't be together. There's something wrong with you. Bye, Jen. Okay, question number 5. This is a female in the 28 to 32 age group from Bowling Green, Kentucky. This is a male, 33, talking about a male who's 33 to 40. To sum things up, my question is this. Should I tell my boyfriend that I think I may be pregnant or wait until I know for sure? Oh, this is interesting. Kids are a really big deal to him. He really wants kids, but his ex was not able to have them. He stayed with her until the relationship went to hell. We are pretty new, less than 6 months together, but I have definitely fallen for him. I think he feels the same way about me. I am freaking out thinking that I am pregnant. It's a few days too soon to take a test, so I'm in limbo. He keeps asking me what's wrong, and I have not told him. I don't know how he's going to react. Will he be happy because he wants a kid so bad? Or are we too new for all of this? I have no idea. I am also worried to tell him because I know for sure he'll be really happy, but what if I'm not pregnant? I don't want to get his hopes up needlessly. But I'm so preoccupied, he's trying to get me to tell him what's going on in my head. What should I do? Should have used birth control. Then after that, you got to think about something else before you open your big mouth to tell him anything. If you are pregnant, do you want to have a baby by a man that your ass don't even know? You've been dealing with him for 6 months. You don't know hell of nothing about this man. Okay? He's still on his good behavior. You still dealing with his representative, not the real man. And number 2, you just got with him. And you talking about he wants kids. Does that mean he wants kids with you? Does that mean he wants kids now? Does that mean that he was thinking about he wants kids in 10 years after some financial goals to say, you don't know enough. You don't ask enough questions. And number 2, is he talking about getting married or he just want to be breeding around like being a baby daddy? What's the goal here? What's the plan? Do we have any money? Having a kid is expensive. Do you have any money? Are y'all stable enough mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and financially to have a child? I see 2 silly people that don't need to breed nothing. You need to go and investigate termination if you are pregnant, and then don't tell him shit, okay? Because he ain't talking about being your husband, right? You barely know this clown. What are you doing? This is stupid. This is what falls under the category of a stupid pregnancy. This makes no damn sense. These girls having these babies by some clown they just fucking met, don't know shit about her. Girl, you need to be freaking out. You need to be freaking out thinking about, oh my God, how could I have been so stupid, so careless, so irresponsible? And I thought you could take a pregnancy test in 24 hours after you missed the cycle or something. See, and then even if you did think, why did you go and get a Plan B pill and pop that? What are you doing? It's like you want to get pregnant. That's what it sounds like to me. You wanted to get pregnant, so you did. This is very sad because, like I said, you don't know what you're about to get your face cracked. And the main thing is, even if he does come back saying, oh, yes, I do want a child, but he just renting your womb just on the strength of some conversation, you're going to change your whole body and your life and blow out your cooch having a baby by some clown that you barely know. And what you going to do if you get along 3 or 4 months along, 5 months, 6 months, too late to terminate. And then he decides, oh, I don't want a kid right now after all. I definitely don't want one with you. And he deuces out. Then what you going to do? So you basing your whole opinion of what you should do with your body, your life, and your time for the next 18 years. Well, really, it's your whole rest of your life because you're going to always be somebody's mama. You basing your life choices on what he wants, a man you barely know. You are being hella stupid right now. This is really stupid. If you are pregnant, get an abortion, okay? Just do it and don't tell him shit. That's my advice for you. Because I'm seeing right here 2 silly people who are too irresponsible to make some sensible choices about the life of a child. This is not some toy here. This is not a baby doll that you can take back to Target because you don't like it anymore. This is a child's life we're talking about by two people who are being very immature and very silly. This irritates the hell out of me when I see this kind of stuff. Okay, then kids suffer because then they're gonna grow up without the daddy, and a whole bunch of shit's gonna happen that didn't need to happen if you had handled your business as a mature and responsible woman. This is no situation to bring a child into. Handle your business. Do something. If you are, I hope you're not pregnant, but if you are, you better take your happy ass to an abortion where you can still get one. Question number 6, female, 22 to 27, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Male, 28 to 34. Some background. I am 27, seeing a 33-year-old guy that I really like. He's a great person and we vibe well together. We've been dating for 2 months. He works a lot, easily until 8 p.m. most nights, 5 days a week. And our time together is limited. We usually hang out once a week, rarely twice. He always talks about how he's very tired from working, even on Friday evenings, and isn't up to do much. Saturdays is only true free day. I've tried to be accommodating to this while still in the getting to know you phase of our relationship. I have a car and he does not. The majority of our time spent together has been me coming to him on his schedule. Oh, so you on a drive-by booty call schedule. That's what you are. Due to his crazy work demands and animals, I thought I wouldn't mind coming to him to make it easier for me. We've been dating for 2 months and he has never been to my place once. I've only ever been to and slept at his house. He has animals, a cat and a dog, and says he can't leave them alone. I am unfortunately very allergic to both cats and dogs. And staying at his house requires allergy meds, emergency inhaler, and even with that, I still get symptomatic and short of breath. He lets his dog sleep in the bed except on the nights I sleep over. The comforter still carries dander and fur. I'm frustrated because I feel like if I want to see him or spend the night together, I have to work around his schedule and deal with the symptoms of my allergies. Yesterday, he finally came over for the first time. When night came, he said he had to go. He said he's never left his dog alone and therefore won't be able to sleep over as long as he has this dog. It's an old dog that requires extra care, and he doesn't have or want anyone else to watch the dog or let it out. He's pretty much made it clear that overnights anywhere but his house or traveling is off the table because of the dog. I can't be mad at him for this, but to be honest, I'm a little bummed out. Feels like my only option is to work around his schedule and deal with the allergies. I know lots of partners have dogs. Is there a solution or is this just unfortunate incompatibility? I really like this guy, but I feel stuck. You're not stuck. You sticking yourself. You stuck on stupid. That's what you stuck on. Girl, you are risking your health and shit for this motherfucker. His dick can't be that good. Okay? He don't even make time to see you. You got to work your whole life around him. This some clown that you only known for 2 months. You doing the absolute most. It's projecting yourself to be the absolute most desperate woman I've ever met. You talking about that's your only option. Your other option that you seem to conveniently have forgotten about is dipping out on this. You cannot, I have asthma too and I'm allergic to dogs and cats the same way. There's no way in this world I would date a man that's got a dog and a cat. That's just not, I'm not even going to date him. He ain't coming to my house either because they had that shit on their clothes. And then they sit on your couch, on your cloth couch, or get in your bed and stuff. And then the shit is in your, it's, shit, what's going on here? Then it's in your house. Hold on, some window opened up and now I can't see anything. Okay, there we go. My gosh. Yeah, then and you sit up there taking an emergency inhaler and all that stuff just to be around him like he's got the only dick in the world that you can get. You tripping. Man, as soon as I meet a dude and he tells me, oh, I have a dog, or sometimes they have 2 dogs, I'll be like, oh, well, it was nice meeting you. And they're like, oh, but we get along? So, well, no, we don't, because I don't get along with your dogs, and those are like your kids, your fur babies. I cannot deal with pets. That's why I always have turtles. My little turtles, they don't have hair, and they're very smart. As long as you give them some water and some food, they're cool. They don't make noise, and they don't scratch up stuff. And they don't bite up stuff, and they don't chew up your shoes and stuff like that. Ideal pets. They follow you around like a dog too, want to sleep with you in the whole nine, just like a dog, just like a cat. But they don't do all the other stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, that's you asking me my opinion. That's my opinion. Get rid of him and find you somebody else, somebody who's more available. This guy has you on a booty call schedule, so you just drive over and deliver up the booty, and then sit there wheezing and coughing and sneezing, can't breathe and shit, just to be up under this man that don't even really want you. Okay, this is ridiculous. Question number 7. Female, 22 to 27, in Oakland, California. She's a Scorpio. The friend gender is female, 28 to 34, and a Taurus. Taurus is Scorpios. Deb, should I rekindle a relationship with my cousin, Fatty Taurus? Okay, you calling the girl Fatty. I'm 24 and she's 28. 5 years ago, when I was 19 and she was 24, we had a confrontation where she physically attacked me, and it turned into a screaming match. Whoa. What happened is she picked a fight with me over something petty, and I was tired of her bullying at that point, so I stung her with my Scorpio stinger. Good job. Her and my younger cousin, Fakey, who's a Libra, okay, so we got Fatty and Fakey here, were picking at me, and Fakey was instigating. Afterwards, she spins it to everyone who would listen that I flipped out on her and that I started talking to her boyfriend behind her back. In reality, he pursued me, and I didn't even know that they knew each other at first. When I told her about him, she told me that she knew who he was. I asked her if she used to date him, and she said no. I also asked her did she remember that her, and he said yes, but he said no, that they were not together. Come to find out they used to talk but never were boyfriend, girlfriend. However, after we had that spat, she was trying to make it seem like I stabbed her in the back, even though the whole time she was encouraging it. Anyway, she was always a bully and used to constantly one-up me and take jabs at me about things unrelated to the guy, which led up to the big fight. Fast forward to now, my family wants us to start talking again, but I don't really know how to get past her personality. She has this thing about being judgmental, imposing her standards on others, unsolicited advice, trying to position herself as the idol in all her relationships. She sounds like a piece of work. When Fatty, Fakey, and I did get along, she stayed trying to force me into a flunky position, and Fakey was her loyal follower. I wasn't having it. She collects people she deems beneath her in some way and then tries to fix them and boss them around. She judges other people's choices and decisions when in reality she's 28 with 2 kids by a guy she hasn't been in a relationship with since she got pregnant by him the first time. He left her. She doesn't have her own place, lives with her mom, is on welfare, so she's not someone that I really look up to that much. But that's the problem. It's so hard to be around her because she's always acting like she's somebody's life coach, yet is jealous and competitive at the same time. She got competitive of me when I don't want to be her flunky and rebelled against her. And she got jealous. I don't know what that's. Okay, Fakey once grew up and went to medical school, and now they're not as close. I really don't think she's evil, but she is tyrannical and jealous-hearted as well as petty. I even try. I don't see any what I call redeeming value here. What would you be trying for? You know, those family members who want you to be friends with her, you know how you shut that down? You say, I'm too good to be her. Just because we related, that was an accident. You know, I didn't decide to be her cousin. That was y'all fucking around with people and doing all that stuff that made that happen. She's not the kind of person I would want to be friends with. Plus, she's broke and she's on welfare. She got two baby. She got a baby daddy and a bunch of kids. That's like, what's she doing with her life? She ain't doing shit. So what's there for me to be friends with? You say something like that to them, they would have a Pikachu face, like, and then they'll leave you alone. Now, they might be talking about you behind your back about how awful it was that you said that, but you know what? My thing is, I don't care about stuff like that. My thing is, I don't focus on the process. I focus on the results. And if you focus on the results, you know, you're going to have to go through some changes to get those results, but you're always flexible in the approach that you take. You don't feel like stuck on any one path. You know, I mean, you're going to do stuff. You got, okay, I need to go to school. Okay, but, you know, which school, what you know, how you do it, which classes you take in which order, you know, how long if you're going to go to school. All those kind of things are flexible, and I don't really put a lot of stock in those kind of plans. My plan is I want this thing that's here at the end, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. For you, the pot of gold is being free from Fakey and Fatty, right? So how you get there is irrelevant. You tell your family, if they like her so much, for them to go be friends with her and leave you out of it because you tired of the bitch and her shit, and you not trying to be in that situation with her anymore. When you was little, you had to, but now you're an adult and you choose not to. And there you go. That's it. Oh, hello from Germany. What's happening? I'm like, why you think you need to force yourself to be friends with some silly bitch like this? This girl sounds like somebody that needs to get cussed out a couple of times. Then she might be all right. The bottom line, like, why she's trying to figure out some kind of way to make herself seem like she's superior to everybody else, because she knows she's not. When people have solid self-esteem, they have no need to try to control people. They don't try to put other people down. They try to build other people up. They, even if they don't have something nice to say, then they just shut up because, it's pointless unless that person is attacking them or trying to hurt them. Well, then you speak up. But you just go through life. If you're confident in yourself and who you are and what you have to offer, stuff like that, there's no reason for you to put other people down. They have stuff to offer too. I mean, it might not be as obvious to you or it might be something that you appreciate, but they still have value. You know what I mean? Everybody has something of value. Now, this girl might be the exception, but I wouldn't be bothered with her. But I would just tell your family, that you decided that that's not going to happen, and to not bother you about that again. And if it's so important to them that she have a friend, for them to step up and be that person. Let's move on to question number 8, female 22 to 27 from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Her mate is a guy in the 28 to 34 age group. Hey, Miss Deb, on 2 separate occasions with 2 completely different men, we had eggplant, and on both occasions the men told me how they wanted to, in me and have a baby with me. I've told them that I'm not interested in having kids right now, and I'm just focused on myself and bettering myself. During eggplant, both of them on the 2 separate occasions whispered in my ear, telling me that they wish to take off the condom and for me to have their baby. I asked the first guy if he finished in me, and he said no. But later on, after I got home, he texted me telling me that I should probably get the plan B. I immediately told him off and blocked him afterward. The second guy, I was more on the drunk side from a fun night out, and immediately after, in my drowsy state, he told me, I finished in you, right? I'm thinking he was joking and asked, what? Why? And he responded, because I want a baby with you. During eggplant, this guy likes to mumble to himself, but I heard him say, I want to take it off. I want you to come over every day and stay. Deb, is this normal for men to say and do these things to try and trap a woman into their lives? This is my first time experiencing this. With the second guy, after I woke up, I talked to him about it and heard him say about wanting a baby and if he meant what he said about doing what he did. This time he says, no, I was just playing. I know you got a lot going on and I don't want you mad at me. Ms. Deb, I don't know what to think. I'm still going to buy a plan B because I don't believe him. This isn't the first time he's mentioned a baby to me. And for the first time ever, I found that I was pregnant a few weeks ago for 8 weeks before aborting it, which would have been the second guy. He doesn't know about it. So I think he did actually finish in me. Also, both these men are 7 years older than me. I'm 23. Okay, let's talk about you first. Let's talk about how you handled this, which was very poorly. You have a man and you doing the wild thing, and your little ass in the prime of your life is not on some dependable birth control. What are you doing? Take your ass to the gynecologist and you get something that you have implanted in you, injected in you, implanted something that is better than a condom. Okay, because that puts the responsibility for you getting pregnant outside of your hands and onto someone else. You don't do it that way. It's not how you handle your life. Okay. Secondly, plan B, you should have a stash of those at your house. Okay. Because even if you do say you get on some birth control or whatever, it takes a while for it to really kick in and be effective. It's not effective immediately. So if something should happen like this, you need to pop the plan B regardless. Okay. And the third thing, and I should have said this first, is if you have a man who approaches you with this I want to have a baby by you conversation, you get up, you put your clothes on, and you leave, or you kick him out. That's your warning sign right there that he's all fucked up in the head. He's not trying to have an adult relationship with mutual respect. He's trying to impose a lifestyle on you that you don't want. He's trying to force something on you. Whether you got rid of it or not is not the point. The point is his actions. That's what I want you to focus on right now. What person does that and says something like that and tried to coerce another person into being pregnant, ruining her body, ruining her life, burdening her for the rest of her life with some motherfucker's kid that she wasn't in a serious relationship with, just screwing. Okay, this is a mistake that you young girls be making. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Yeah, a shot. I mean, I'm just saying whatever, whatever she needs to do, she needs to have something that's like a serious protective barrier against this in place. I just cannot, especially now with they ready to try to do away with termination. All y'all need to be heading right now to get yourself on some serious birth control. Right now. Right now. I mean, like tomorrow. Okay? If you're not already on it, start investigating every option, what's going to work best for you and your body, whatever afflictions you have and all this stuff. Figure it out and get your ass on some birth control. Prepare yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck. There's going to be a whole bunch of women stuck with babies by random miscellaneous fools, and that ain't going to pay them no child support, and they're going to be suffering. You and the kids suffering. That's the setup they're trying to do just to make you have a baby. They want people to have the babies, but then once the kid is here, it's like, oh, well, fuck you. We no child support, no welfare, no food stamps, no assistance, no daycare assistance, no job training program, nothing, no Section 8. You can't get nothing. You're going to be suffering and poor with a baby by some food that you were too ridiculously irresponsible to protect yourself from having. This is ridiculous, okay? I mean, I'm glad you wrote. This is probably something you really couldn't talk about with your mother, people like that, because yeah, I could understand why you would want to do that. But I'm talking to you like you were my daughter. This is some bullshit. Okay, get your shit together. You don't be having no man in your life that's talking to you like this. He's sitting up there plotting and telling you he's plotting. And you gonna stay in the bed with him? No. And it's after he did it the one time, you're not supposed to sleep with him no more. He showed you his character. He's an awful, awful person. You don't reward somebody like that with more of your body. You get rid of a man like that. That's not respecting you and your choices. Okay? I hate to have to even tell you this, but I think I need to explain it to you in a way that makes it very clear. These guys are toxic, and they are going to do everything they can to fuck you up. Okay? So you get rid of this dude. Don't you sleep with him no more. Change your number or something. Block him. Do whatever you need to do. You move on from this shit. And I'm telling you, any man who does anything like that to you ever again, you get up immediately. You don't let him touch you. You don't reward him with a finish using you to do it. You get him out of your life. Oh, this is upsetting. Now, honey, I'm telling you, if I was in that age group, I would have like 12 Plan Bs in my nightstand, eating them suckers like M&Ms. I'm just like, no. I have no dusty ass motherfucker's baby. Please. Yeah, I mean, they do exist, but shit, where you even find, I've never even seen one. I've had a friend who used to do STD and birth control training up in Stockton. And he had one, but that's the only time I've ever seen one. Nobody I've ever met has actually used one. And everybody's like, well, where do you get them at? It's not a real common thing. So, I don't know. Yeah, struggle baby. That's right. Don't be no goddamn struggle baby. Shit. You be struggling the rest of your life with that goddamn baby by that goddamn raggedy ass dusty food. You be having no baby like that. The baby deserves better, and so do you. They begging people to come foster parents. Yeah, just imagine what's gonna happen once they get rid of abortion. People don't have no money. Shit, these days you got to choose. When I buy groceries, I fill up my tank so I can get to work. Which one? Ooh, gas is just ridiculous. So, I hope you get the picture, young lady. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's a Cancer out of Santa Clara. The guy she's writing about is a 28 to 32-year-old Libra. I am white and my partner is black. We have an extremely healthy and prosperous relationship. The recent events with the grocery store shooter has hit him particularly hard, justifiably so. We had a conversation today where he said he feels all white people have at least some inherent racism in them. I'll never combat that statement because I feel no need to defend white people as a group ever. My heart only has love, so that statement doesn't offend me, nor am I off put by my partner saying it. I just wasn't sure exactly how to respond besides telling him everything they feel is valid. I feel like that wasn't the best thing to say and that I let him down when he was trying to confide in me. My questions to you are, number one, how can I help my black partner feel more secure and supported in our relationship when it comes to conversation on racial disparities and current events? Number two, what can I offer him in terms of racially sensitive responses, if any, that shows I'm listening wholeheartedly to his experiences while understanding I'll probably never fully get it? And you know what? I appreciate you for even your awareness is great, but see, this is the thing about white people from the Bay Area. They get it more often than not. They get it. So good for you. And for you to acknowledge that you probably never really get it is going to go a long way in your relationship. But at least you're open to try. And that's very important. What I'm going to say this is, he kind of has a point. They are, unless someone has done the work to check their biases, and I'm not saying racism, I'm just saying biases. I'm going to, take it from a different angle because stuff is just different. Like, I'll tell you an example. I have a white friend, right? And she fell last week or so. Yeah, she fell. She got a knot on her head, a subdural hematoma. That's like, a lump on her head. It's not, her brain wasn't damaged. It's under the skin. So they kept her in the hospital for observation. I had a full-on stroke. They sent me home. Bias. Okay, so then she about to get her third MRI on her head. Third in a week. I'm not saying she shouldn't have one, but I'm saying, what is the difference? Why would she get 3 MRIs and I can't even get one on my shoulder that I, when I slammed against the wall when I fell and had the stroke? They did an X-ray. And then my physical therapist asked for an MRI and the doctor's like, well, let's do another X-ray. He said, no, she already had an X-ray, but we need to move up. So he had to go to bat for me to get the next level up. She didn't have to do that, and that's the difference. She's white and I'm not. I thought it was very interesting. And so she and I, but she and her husband are ex-hippies. They're in that age group. They're a little older. And so, we have these kind of conversations. They are very cool and like the most aware white couple that I've ever met in my entire life. So I can vent to them about the race stuff that happens to me and, all stuff. And they have solutions. We're going to write to congressmen. Let's go. They be on it. But and I also had a situation where, when I was working as a wedding photographer, I was telling a white friend of mine, and we were pretty close, I thought. Now, keep in mind, when I was a wedding photographer, I won an award for my an engagement picture. I wasn't like no little shouty thing. Everything I do, I study it and be the best at it, and before I move on to something else. So I won this award for this engagement photo that I got first place. This award for best photography. So that just lets you know I'm no bullshit ass photographer here. And so I was telling her about how these people had called me, and I went there with my wedding books to show them and stuff. I didn't have a studio I would go to, the couple. And they, I guess, couldn't tell that I was black on the phone. So when I got to their house with the wedding books, they were so stiff and looking all confused and just tripping. And I could tell, they were shocked that I was black, even though they had seen my picture, and they knew, it was just really weird. And so I was telling her about it at my job, and telling her about the story. And she was like, oh, that's so horrible. And then at the end, she said, well, I guess for your wedding. That's what she said to me. And I was like, oh. So see, that's how black people come to the conclusion that most, not all, but most, a high percentage of white people do have some biases that sometimes they're not even aware of until a person of color points it out to them that thinking is faulty, that attitude that they just expressed is wrong. Stuff. And so you have to, they're not going to get checked like that around other white people. It has to be through interactions with people that are impacted, who are in the demographic that are impacted by racism, sexism, and these kinds of behavior, these biases. So, he has a point. I'm sure he can give you some examples. And but as far as what you said to him, you can't really say too much. You're going to be responding to him as your loved one venting about a problem. The problem is whatever it is. You're not there to solve the problem. You're not there to fix the problem. You're just there to listen. Okay. And if you're ever in a situation, though, like if you guys are out at a restaurant or something like that, and you notice some bias being directed towards him, then it would be up to you to step up and call the person out on it. Okay, do that. I think if more white people did that kind of stuff where they saw some bullshit going down and they checked the person who was doing it, it would definitely lower the amount of it because they can't escape it. So if we say something to them, they're like, "Oh, you're just this and that," and you're nah, nah, nah. If another white person says it to them, then they'd be like, "Oh, you see what I'm going at? We're going with that." So think about how you could do that, and if those situations ever come up, keep your eyes open. They probably won't see too many of them in the Bay Area because we just don't roll like that. But I don't know where you guys might travel or go. Wherever you might go, you're likely to run into it. Um, but that's what I can say. Just tell them, I hear you. I'm trying to understand, or I understand, I get it. It's awful, that kind of stuff. Validation of his feelings and thoughts. Don't argue with him or tell him it's wrong and that's not how he should think and it's not really like that and white people aren't like that and it's not all white people and that kind of stuff. Those kind of comments, basically dismiss his very real, his reality. Why is it the biases come in such a really weird way? I mean, sometimes it's just a little way. Like we had a counter, right? This happened to me. This was in Texas, though, to be expected. I'm waiting in line, the clerk, ringing up somebody. I'm next in line. This bitch gonna try to lean around me like she don't see me there to take the order from the lady who's behind me. It was another white woman. So that lady was looking and she was like, "Oh hell no, I don't want none of this smoke," because she could tell I was young and stupid at that time, and I guess my energy was like, "What the fuck?" And so the lady, the white lady, she's like, "Oh no, she was here first," and she was looking at the clerk, with this quizzical expression. And then the clerk, she takes my stuff, and I was at Dillard's in Houston, and she takes my stuff, and she, "Oh, this and that." And I happened to know. I said, "Do you get a commission for this?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "I feel like you'd have a better attitude." So I took the dress and left the tag on it, and it was a dress for the party at my law firm, a Christmas party. So I wore the dress, and I took the dress back, so she lost her commission. It's like, "Bitch, you're not gonna make no money off of me." But that's how I did that. That's how I got her back. But this is really interesting. Oh, the TV show, What Would You Do? I saw a clip of that on YouTube, I think it was. So that's my suggestion with my long-winded explanation about bias and racism, and I hope that makes sense to you. Somewhere in there is the answer to your question. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's a Libra, and she's out of Orlando, Florida. "Hey, Deb, I recently just called things off with my ex who has broken up with me 5 times within a span of 2 years. The reason being that he wasn't ready for a relationship. I should have called things off a long time ago after all the shit I went through being with this clown. Him constantly talking about his ex-white girlfriend, watching popcorn, commenting on other girls' pics with hard-eyed emojis, and the list goes on. Oh, I decided to be petty and cut things off with his ass while he's deployed. I'm military too, and I know he's not in any sort of danger at least. Plus, we are not in a relationship at the time, just exclusive." Oh, please. After doing so, his mother texted me this exact message. Okay, this is in quotes. This is from the mama. "What in heck are you doing? You know Trey has a lot on his plate, and you are worrying someone with crazy stuff. If anything, you should be encouraging him, building him up at this time. Instead, you are thinking about yourself and your insecurities because he is not with you. You and my son are not school-age kids, but you are acting like that. If there is something valid to address, then do it when he gets back. I am surprised and disappointed that you would tear him down instead of building him up. That's what you do for people you love or even care for. You're being selfish at this point, making him feel bad about something you have to fix within yourself. Because who does that? Hurt someone when they are already going through, I guess you're supposed to say something, right? Some going through whatever. You in your position should understand that you have to boost people up in a crisis. If you are feeling some kind of way while he is gone, you should wait until he is back instead of making him feel bad. When his life is at stake, steak spelled like the meat. I don't know what to say. You really disappointed me with this. And if you go back and tell him about what I said to you, it shows me where your heart is. LOL, I could not believe this woman had the nerve. Deb, what should I do? Oh, what should you do? Let me go and see this. Okay, so y'all really broke up with you 5 times in 2 years. And at the time when this happened, so you dealt with a whole bunch of disrespect. I mean, just unbelievable levels of disrespect. I don't know what you was doing. And so you decided to cut things off with him for a change while he's deployed. And then his mama sends you this long-winded message. Okay, what I would have done is texted her back and said, I don't give a fuck about your son. I hope a bomb drops on him. I hope he comes back in a body bag. I'm not married to your son and I don't owe him shit. We were just fuck buddies. But now I decided his dick's not that good and him sick of you too. And so both of y'all can kiss my ass. That's what I would have texted her back. You asked me, I'm telling you. Because as I was reading this, I was already formulating in my mind, oh, hell to the no. This would not happen. Not on my life, not on my watch. Text me some shit like that, I'm going to break you down and I'm going to burn you up with my fiery Leo temper. And now I can text again a little bit. Shit. Because his hand wasn't really working. That was still not that great, but I can kind of use my thumb. Shit. I would have lit that bitch up. He's sending me no fucked up text message about a grown ass man. Let a bomb drop on him. That's what I hope. He's got a lot on his plate. I don't care what he's got on his plate. I'm not his wife. I'm not his girlfriend either. What the fuck are you sending me all this shit for? Bitch, you want somebody to support your son, you do it. I mean, she can go down to the grandkids store and get you one. Get you a foster kid. Shit, plenty of them available. They need a home. Why don't you do that, Granny? You know what I mean? I mean, but you might not be as savage and mean as me. But somewhere in between my response and nothing is the answer to this. But I would have lit her up because she all on some bullshit, thinking somebody's give a fuck about your son. I'm not with your son no more. He is a mere figment of your imagination as far as I'm concerned. I don't have shit to do with him. I don't care if he lives or dies, only you do. Say stuff like that to her, she'll leave you alone. She'll be all horrified and stuff, making a Pikachu face. But, people so tend to leave you alone when you light them up real good and tell them some stuff about, what you don't care about. This one that you miss. Yeah, for a couple of weeks I was at my patience level was like, it's still not, I'm choosing my battles. I have this Garmin Fit Watch thing, right? And it tells you all through the day your stress level. So I'm trying to keep my little light in the yellow to orange. If it goes to red, that means you're stressed. I'm trying to keep it low, like low to no stress. It's hard, but I have to let a lot of stuff go because I have to think about my health right now, And so people be talking crazy. I just be looking at them like, oh, let me see. Is this going to be a cuss out moment? I'm just going to let this go. And you have to think about it. Is it going to really matter? Is this what they're doing? Is it going to impact me like in my life? Is it going to make a problem for me? If the answer is yes, then I, light them up. But if the answer is, not really, then I just let it go. Oh, well, she probably, because I had to switch the days. And she does work, y'all, so she might not be here. But it's fine. Everybody just behave yourself. Okay, let's move on to question number 11. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group out of Oakland. Oh, and if you are not a subscriber to the channel, please hit that subscription button and hit the instant notification bell too. So try to do some uploads. I can't do more than one live a week though, not right now. Okay, she says, hi Deb, this is very important. I was recently coming home from a shift, walking into my apartment building, and on the way I passed a lady who also lives in the building. She was coming out with her 3 boys and a baby. So she got 4 kids. She walked past me. She goes, get out the way, stupid ass bitch. Not loud, but loud enough for me to hear. Oh, wow. This isn't the first time she's been rude to me. And my mother had an instance where she cursed out someone from DoorDash when they were just trying to deliver food. When I got to my apartment to tell my mom and aunt about what happened, they brought a couple of things to my attention. This woman has a reputation around the complex for being extremely ghetto, rude, aggressive, and just downright hateful and bitter. She has 3 little boys, and the eldest is a daughter who's now 13 and just recently had a baby by her new boyfriend. What concerns me is how she treats the 13-year-old, keeping in mind she only just turned 13 not too long ago. She makes her daughter clean up after her boyfriend and the younger boys. She makes her daughter do all of the laundry, including that of her boyfriend, and also the girl has to do all of the cooking, including for the mother's boyfriend. My mother and aunt said they have tried to say hi to the little girl on multiple occasions, and she's just miserable like a slave. And while all the other kids, including her little brothers, run around the complex like hooligans, she doesn't have that freedom. She never gets to play or hang with the other kids her age. She just goes to school, comes home to do all the house chores and take care of her younger siblings, while her mother and boyfriend live off of government assistance. It's just heartbreaking. I don't like to see children get used and treated like this, and the woman keeps having babies by these men and keeps making her daughter watch and clean up and cook for them. It's just so mind-wrecking. Should we call CPS? This really is daunting to me, and I don't want to do more harm than good. What is the right thing to do? I haven't told my mother and aunt yet, but I've thought about calling CPS. Oh, yes, you're going to do all that. Let me tell you what you're going to do first, though. First, if she's doing all that, she's on welfare, she's most likely on Section 8, too, with the man living up in the house, which is a violation. So what you're going to do first is you're going to report her for welfare fraud. Aren't you in Oakland? Hold on a second, let me just double check. Oh yeah, girl, you in Oakland. Alameda County do not play on that shit. They will toss her ass up out of there. And first, that'll be the main thing. She'll be out of the building, okay? Because she'll lose her Section 8. She can't pay the full rent by herself, then she just won't have it. She won't have that. She might still could get, AFDC because she has little kids, but she won't be getting any Section 8 because it's a violation for the boyfriend to live there. Okay, so you're going to do that first. That's going to alleviate some load from the little girl right off the bat. Then, once you hang up from them, you're going to call CPS, and you're going to say, look, there's child abuse. The mother's working this little girl like a slave. She makes her clean up after these adults and the children. She's like parentified, and the little girl is miserable. I'm concerned about her mental health and her welfare. She looks like, she could be possibly go into like a depressive state, and what if she wants to end her life or something. I'm very, very concerned. Everyone in the building is very concerned. We're just you got to play it like that, right? They will rush a social worker over there, maybe two, and they might just take the kids and put them in foster care. Maybe not, because they're kind of a little short of foster homes right about now, but that would be the issue, is to get them kids out of there. Okay, but she would get booted out the building if she can't pay the rent by herself, which most likely she's not, because she's only getting welfare. And then the little girl would be freed from this slavery, and the woman who want to keep laying up there breeding like a bunny rabbit would have to take care of her own fucked up kids. And then the boyfriend would be out on his ass, and that would be that. It wouldn't be convenient for him to be around her anymore, because he'd have to pay some rent. So he's one of them homosexual. He just want to be with her because he don't have to pay no bills. So, with 2 phone calls, you can fix that whole situation. Make sure you do that tomorrow. They'll be at her house on Monday. Yep. No, it's not no Karen. Karens interfere unnecessarily. The Karens interfere about stupid shit and try to regulate on people. This is not a Karen, Cindy. This is someone who is concerned about a child's mental and emotional state and how she's being treated with. This is child abuse. That's what this person is. This is not a Karen. Okay? Let's be very clear here. That term does not apply in this situation at all. I had to call CPS on this woman I knew too. She was always at church, dressed in the finest, always doing stuff, trying to look her finest and just being out of. She had 3 little girls that were little foster girls. And I went to her house one time with my daughter, right? My daughter's about their age. And I was like, oh, we're going to, come. She's like, oh, yeah, come stop by. So her living room looked regular, right? So my daughter had to go to the bathroom, right? So I said, okay, where's the bathroom? She has to use it. So the lady looked a little concerned, but we went down the hall to where the bathroom was. The bathroom was okay. But, just being nosy, there's like 2, right across the hall, 2 steps across was a door that was open. And one of the little girls came and said, oh, this is my room, right? She wanted me to look at her room. I was horrified. The little girls had a bare mattress on the floor. It was like a full-size mattress. Might have been queen. But anyway, they all slept on it together. There was no sheets on the bed. There was like a thin little blanket balled up on the bed, and piles of their clothes in different corners of the room. No dresser, no nothing hanging up in the hanger, nothing. It would look like I don't even know what to say. Some third world country probably would have looked better than that. Now you go in her room, she is a QVC queen. She had all kind of shit and gadgetry, comforters and fluffy lace and all kind of shit in her room, which was right next to the girls' room. And then you went in the kitchen. There were dirty dishes piled up so high, there was like bugs in there. It was just nasty. And that's where she prepared food. But as long as you stayed in the living room, so you didn't know none of that happened. You didn't see that. I went home and I called CPS. I sure did. That's when I was on my mother's daycare license, So I was connected with the state, and that was my role as a mandated reporter. And I reported. And what they did, they sent somebody over to her. They put her on a parenting program. And they did also get some donations. They got the girl some bunk beds. They made her clean up that kitchen. They got, clothes and books, and they got a little what they call that little wardrobe case for them, because it was 3 of them, right? So they need more space. Got them some dressers and stuff like that. The county provided that, or some donor or something. But anyway, the social worker made it all happen. So the lady didn't have to come out of pocket for anything. And then after that, they moved them out of that rat-infested, nasty-ass house into a subsidized apartment. So they would have, they have more bedroom space. So they moved them into a 4-bedroom place. So each of the girls had their own room, and then the lady had her room. So life, because of my call in CPS, it created a much better living situation for those little girls. And at the time, that's all I cared about. I didn't care about that bitch. I didn't care about what happened to her or nothing. I was horrified to see some little girls at 7 or 8 years old living like that and being treated like that. They were already foster kids. They didn't have nobody but her. That just broke my heart. I mean, just talking about it now gets me choked up. My daughter was impacted by it too. She was crying. It's like, Mommy, why are they living like that? She didn't know what to do. How do you explain something that to your kid who goes home and has like her own computer and luxury items and all this shit in her room? I mean, not like I'm rich and stuff, but we didn't have nothing like that situation like that. Those poor little girls, it was horrible. So I'm sharing that story with you because I want you to understand how important it is to me that you wrote this and that you do something about it. You know it's wrong. Okay, now it's time to take action. Those are the 2 things that you need to do. Question number 12, female, 22 to 27, out of London, England. My 30-year-old big sister got married about 3 weeks ago, and for her wedding, she wanted me and a couple of other women to do a belly dance performance because it's part of our culture, and I've done it before at other events. I've taken classes for years, and I'm really good at it. However, I honestly did not want to do it at all, but she begged me to do it, and I could not say no to her, especially since it was for her big day. So I ended up saying yes. The day of the wedding arrived, and everything went smoothly. The wedding was amazing. My sister looked beautiful, and everything was just perfect. Everyone seemed to love the little performance the other dancers and I did. I honestly thought everything went well. After the wedding, my sister and her husband went on their honeymoon, and they just got back this past weekend. My other sister met up with her to catch up and chill, and our newly married sister ended up complaining about the performance and said I was apparently showing off and doing, as you say, too much. I was not trying to show off, and I was definitely not doing too much. She only has a problem with me and not any of the other 4 dancers. Apparently, she's very upset and it makes no sense at all. I want to meet up with her and remind her that I only did what she begged me to do. But both my mother and my other sister said that I shouldn't. They told me to just let it go and not ruin this moment for my sister. Of course, I don't want to ruin anything for her, but I don't want her to go and accuse me in front of others of doing things I didn't do. Do I confront her, or do I just let this one go and not ruin her moment? Her moment's already ruined. First of all, what moment? The wedding already happened. Okay, that would have been the moment that would have been ruined. So what's you talking about? I don't get it. Secondly, it sounds to me like she's just jealous. You must have looked hella good and had all eyes on you while that was happening. And so, you're the only one that she can get jealous at. She can't really say too much to the other girls because they would be like, bitch, fuck you. But for you, since you're her sister, she can vent all her frustration and jealousy on you. So, that's all you have to say. If she says anything about it to you, say, stop being jealous. I know I did a good job, and I know I look good. You were just mad because for them 10 minutes that everybody wasn't paying attention to you as the bride. You felt like it's because it's your day that everybody should only look at you. I told you I didn't want to do it. You insisted, so shut up. That's what you need to tell your sister. You tell her that and put her behind in check and make sure there's other people around when you do it. Okay? And if they don't like it, then it's too damn bad. Yes, hit the like button. Thank you, Amina. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Okay, question number 13. This is a female in the 36 to 41 age group. She's a Libra. She's out of Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, y'all. Remember a couple of weeks ago, Candace, note to Deb, January or February show. Oh, okay, this letter must have been sitting around for a long time. Okay, so she said a couple of weeks ago. That was in January or February. Okay, when I asked about how to expose a home wrecker, why did y'all get mad when I asked the question? Well, guess what? She is a true home wrecker because my husband was subscribed on her OnlyFans and she knew. Why would she allow him on there looking at her pictures? You sound stupid. If she tried to steal your husband away from you, what would you do? She blocked me on Facebook, but not my husband. Why would she do that? I have a mutual friend that asked her why she would still block me when she was sneaking around with him. The home wrecker said because she was tired of the accusations of her having relations with him and didn't like the fact that she was harassed. No one was harassing her. I was demanding answers. Then I found out he invited her to a hotel and she declined, but yet didn't tell me. Come on, we all know who was in the wrong here. The person who's in the wrong here is you. You have lost control of your husband and your mouth and your good brain, if you have one. Number one, okay, I don't remember what I said because that was January, February, who knows what that was. Question. She's not wrecking your home. Your husband's wrecking your home. I don't understand why you don't understand that. He's the one who subscribed to her OnlyFans. He did that. You know what it takes? He goes on the page. He finds her. He's like, ooh, look at that. Then he pulls out his credit card or he signs on with his PayPal account and he sets it up for his monthly subscription and it comes out of his account. And nobody did that but him because you know how you got to enter them little 3 numbers on the back? He had that. He had to do that. Nobody has his credit card number but him. Maybe you, but not him. I'm not the girl. And then set it all up and stuff. He did that. Okay? He was the one who invited her to a hotel. She didn't invite him. Notice how she didn't go. That means she's not interested in your husband, like she said. She only interested in him because he's giving her some money, like all the other subscribers to her OnlyFans page. That's how she makes her money. Okay, so her interest in him ends there. Once he unsubscribes from her account, her page, or whatever they call it, channel, whatever, I don't know, I've never been on it. Once he unsubscribes from that, then she has no interest in him at all. Her interest ends at his wallet, girlfriend, okay? Anyway, your husband is a bum dusty, and you just as dusty and bummy as him, chasing around behind others, thinking other women care or give a shit about your marriage. I done told you. Nobody cares about your husband and your marriage but you, okay? So what she knew? What's that got to do with her bank account? He gonna put some money in it. I'd be happy with it too, you know. And why would she allow him on there? Like she can block him on the internet? You tripping for real? Your husband be's babysitting you or something. The way that you act, I don't know. You know, these women. I'm telling them, Texas women, something wrong with them about their men. They get fixated on the dude and they just go crazy. I can't with them women down there. I just saw it too many times. It's just unbelievable. I just could not. I could not with them chicks. But that's how they are. All, you know, they just feel like their man is a king and he can do no wrong, and anything he does do wrong is the fault of some woman. It's like he's a puppet being controlled by other people. He can't have, you know. But then they want to talk about my man and leader of the house. But he can't even subscribe to keep his vows in check and keep his behavior in check. He got to do all of this, and you want him to be the leader and consider him to be the leader and the king and somebody you need to submit to and all that kind of crazy stuff. You need to check yourself because you tripping. Yeah, they do. They think all the men are prizes, and they look like a oompa loompa. And they be running around talking about my husband, my husband. I'm like, this dude is a 4x4. What you doing, lady? I'm not saying that's your husband. I'm just saying that's what I've seen some of these little men, the little roly-polies, and the women just thinking that he all of that. I just don't get it. All my men have to be fine. I'm sorry. I just cannot be looking at no ugly ass man. And don't be having no gut. I don't want to see that either. Looking like you pregnant. I I cannot. Yeah, something is seriously wrong. But that's how they be. Question number 14, female, 28 to 34, Pisces out of New Jersey. Hi, Candace, and hey, Auntie Deb. I'm a 28-year-old who starts dating again. I've been binge watching your videos, and you had said on multiple occasions that one of the things that Dusty say is, what do you bring to the table? Ooh, girl, yes. They had that on repeat. My ex said this to me, and I was at a loss for words. How can I answer this question while shutting down the guy who asked me this? I'm an introvert who doesn't take any bullshit, and I like catching assholes off guard. What could I say? The best thing for you to do in a situation like this is realize that this guy has already exposed himself to be a Dusty. If the guy asks you a question like that and he does it with a straight face, that means he's serious. You get up, you get your purse. You say, it was nice to meet you. No, it wasn't. I jest. And then you get in your car and you drive off into the sunset, waving backwards over the sunroof of your car. That's what you do. If he's gonna ask you this and he's on the phone, you say, oh, look at the time, I've got to go. And you hang up. You don't entertain men who expose themselves to be a Dusty fool at the outset, because the relationship has nowhere to go but downhill. He's too stupid to have an original thought, and he's going to come at you with some hood rat nonsense that he picked up on the internet or from some of his bummy ass friends and ask you something like that. Men with good sense don't ask women that kind of stuff. Stupid men who are dust buckets ask women questions like that. So you asking me, what should you say? You should say goodbye. That's the only thing you need to say. You don't deal with guys like this. There's no coming back from that. Yeah, girl, man, I'm telling no pot bellies. I call them poo bellies. I tell them, dude, you looking kind of pooish. They don't like that because they understand. But it's a nice way to say you look like a little fat bear. But, I say pooish. So, you're looking kind of pooish. And they be like, oh, hey, is that good? I'm thinking, not in this lifetime. Yeah, girl. Mm-mm. You don't want to take any bullshit. You just cut them off at the knees and just go on. Just no. You just leave, and you don't have to explain why. You don't, say, because you said what you bring to the table. That's that. You don't go through all that. That's exerting energy on an idiot. You don't even waste your words. You just leave them alone. You hang up the phone, or you get in your car and you drive off. Question number 15. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group out of Atlanta. A male that she's referencing is 18 to 21 as well. I'm 19 and my male friend is 20. We've been friends for 3 years. Long story short, I got the feeling that he likes me as more than a friend, like he has feelings for me, but he never confessed. So when he found out that I'm dating someone, he started to act weird. Suddenly he came up with something. He sent me a pic of a girl he said that he was dating. I feel like he's trying to make me jealous. I knew he was lying to me. He's not dating anybody. He's only doing that in an attempt to make me jealous. Why does he feel like he needs to lie like that? And then when I told him I need to distance myself from him for a while, he became irritated and mad. He said my boyfriend looks like controlling me, and I'm not realizing it. He said this girl, it would be helpful if she put some periods and commas in this, y'all. It's like one giant block of text. So I'm reading it as best I can. Oh, okay. Let me see. Where did I be? I'm not realizing it. And he said there's nothing wrong talking to another guy, man or guy friends if my boyfriend really trusts me. I feel like he's trying to sabotage my relationship with my boyfriend. My boyfriend didn't like how he acts because my boyfriend found out that my guy friend is always calling me to hang out with him. He always wants to talk to me. Since me and my boyfriend started dating, I lessened my time talking and hanging out with that guy friend because I know my boundaries and I respect my boyfriend. What should I do or say to him about this? Haven't you already said it? You said I'm going to, cut my time back and whatever you said to him. I forget. Hold on a second. Well, maybe you didn't say anything. You just said that you cut your time back and not seeing him as much. He got irritated. Well, see, this is my thing. You didn't handle this right. Once you knew, you suspect, because all women know, that he has feelings for you that's outside of a friendship. You were supposed to start putting him on ice then if you weren't interested in him like that. You don't let some man who's not your boyfriend be up in your face all the time like that past the age of, like, I don't know, 15. Because after that, you're not kids anymore. And dudes are, want to be all up in your face and stuff. They're looking for something. They want something from you. If you don't want to give it to him, you distance yourself from him. You have excuses why you can't talk to him. You go on someplace with your parents. You go on someplace with your girlfriends. There's something that's you putting up barriers why this is not going to happen. Or if you don't want to deal with him at all, then you just say that, it's like this time for this friendship to dissolve. I want to go in a different direction now, like how employers do. We decided to go in a different direction. And, and just kind of just ease him on out your life. In this case, I feel like with the way that he's acting, it would be dangerous for you to go any place with him, so don't do it. Go any place with him alone. He sounds like he's not wrapped too tight. The things he's saying are very possessive and like weird, inappropriate, because he's talking about it feels like your boyfriend is controlling himself, and you say, he's only going to control me as much as I want. You just mad because it's not you. Don't call me and hang up the phone. Or something like that. So him calling, trying to get you to hang out with him and stuff is very disrespectful to your relationship. You could tell him that too. So, I told you I have a boyfriend now, and you keep calling trying to get me to see you when I have a man. So I'm not going to be spending time with you like that. I want to be spending time with him. Stop calling me and stop asking me to spend time with you. I'm not going to do it. Okay, you're wasting your time, and it's really getting on my nerves. If you keep it up, then I'm not going to be able to talk to you or see you at all, and this friendship will be over. You need to respect the boundaries that I put in place. You could say something like that too. But the main thing is that the two main points here, in the future, if you think a man likes you and you're not interested, you need to, put the brakes on the friendship. And then number two, don't you go anywhere with this man by yourself. Don't do it. Even if it was you and another girl, don't do it. I just really don't do it. Don't go anywhere with him. This is how date rapes happen. Because he's just feeling like, you didn't want to give it to him. You're going to give it to this other guy. And he's seething with resentment because he feels like he put in 3 years invested in trying to get you to be with him. And then you went and start dealing with somebody else. So he's mad. Don't be very careful. Don't go anywhere with this dude. Seriously. Question number 16. This is a male and female. Oh, a couple. 36 to 45 from San Luis Obispo, California. We are a middle-aged married couple in our mid-40s writing to you about our 18-year-old son. Our question is if we should allow our son's pregnant girlfriend to live with us even if he doesn't want her to move in. This is the story. Our son's girlfriend is also 18 and she's a few months pregnant. Recently, her parents kicked her out. I've been considering letting her live with us since my son is partially responsible for this, and it is his baby. My son is adamant about not wanting her to live with us for no reason other than the fact that she's still having the baby even though he didn't want her to. At this point, he's threatening to move out if we let her move in, so we're not entirely sure what to do in this situation. I, the dad, don't give a shit and want to tell him to either man up or get out, but his mother is worried that he'll be living in the park and on a bench or in a bed-bug-ridden derelict hotel or something. I could really use your insight. Is there a workable compromise that will make everyone happy? This is hard. Okay, let me do my best with my little impacted brain to work through this. Okay, first of all, this is your son's problem. It's nice that you guys want to step in and provide the girl with a home, but I suggest that you and your wife put together a list of house rules and regulations and expectations before that happens. So what you want to do, I know, you're thinking, oh my God, this is going to be our grandbaby. Oh my goodness, isn't that? But, you have to set some rules for both of them. Number one, your son needs to get a job. Okay, he needs to contribute some money towards the upkeep of that girl and of the baby that's coming. Okay. Number two, she needs to have a job. She needs to have a plan for, is she going to go back to school? What's she going to do about daycare so she can work? You guys need to sit down with her because obviously her parents just threw up their hands and kicked her out. So these are things, an 18-year-old is going to need help planning and thinking about. So you and your wife are going to have to do it. And your son, as well. Now, how his behavior is rather questionable. He didn't want her to have it, so you're supposed to bust him upside the head and say, if you didn't want to have a baby, motherfucker, what you doing fucking? That's what you're supposed to tell your son. But that's a conversation you should have had at 14 before all this got started. It's like, if it's not a woman and you don't want to have no baby, then you keep your dick in your pants. That's what you're supposed to tell your son. But see, somewhere you didn't do that. And so this is the result. There was some leniency here that should not have happened. Because what you were supposed to do is tell your son, if you get some girl pregnant, you getting the fuck up out of my house. I want you to understand, I'm not supporting nobody who's going to go around trying to be a baby daddy. I'm not going to treat you like a kid when you're somebody's father. So, see, this is a conversation, again, this is a conversation you should have had when he was like 14, 13, and had it repeatedly through the years so that it was burned into his brain, oh, if I fuck up and get somebody pregnant, I'm going to have a world of problems. But you didn't do that. So now, since you know you didn't do that, that's why you and your wife want to step up. It is what it is. Teens, my teen listen. They listen if they know. This is how they do. They listen if they know that you're a kind of parent, if that means what you say. But see, that's a track record that you established from early childhood. If you're the kind of parent that says stuff and then you don't follow through and you just let them get away with it, then yeah, they're not going to listen. Because they know that they can wheedle and whine and beg and plead and manipulate you into giving them what they want or changing your mind. I don't change my mind. If I tell my daughter no, then she knows she can go to her grave and it's going to always be no. No. And I started telling her before she even had her first menstrual cycle that, don't even think about coming up in here pregnant talking about, Mom, I'm having a baby. Because you and that baby will be thrown the fuck up out of my house. I'm not taking care of nobody's kid. I did that already. I took care of you. So you get a baby, it's going to be your responsibility 150%, and the little motherfucker who made it with you, am I clear? And I started that conversation like she was like 11, 12 years old. And we had a conversation multiple times over the years. And guess what? My daughter's 30 now. She still don't have no damn baby. So that's what I'm saying. It's the kind of thing as a parent, you have to get your bluff in early, and your bluff, you got to be able to back your shit up. So my daughter already knew, because of the history of me parenting her, when I said something, I meant what I said. And I always followed through. Any threats that I said I was going to do, any punishments I said I was going to levy, any restrictions, any kind of disciplinary action, as well as the good things. You get straight A's, I'll take you to Disneyland. She got straight A's, we plan a trip. You see what I mean? So you have to your kid has to understand that you're a person who means what you say, and you do what you say you're going to do. If you have that kind of relationship with your child knows if you say don't bring no goddamn baby up in here because you're going to get the fuck out, they know that that's what's going to happen, and then they go through great pains to make sure that they don't get that situation. So that's what I'm saying. That's where these parents messed up. So what you have to do, you're going to offer the girl the house, to stay in and stuff while she's pregnant. But like I said, you and your wife, before this happens, you need to, come out with a plan and make her sign the agreement, and your son sign the agreement too. Working, going to school, splitting chores. When the baby comes, you're going to be responsible for it. You're not going to think that you're going to dump it on me and my wife, or you all go out partying and all this kind of stuff. You're the parents. It's your responsibility. If you can't get a sitter, I don't know what to tell you. My life's not going to change because you had a baby. I feel like I'm being more than generous by allowing, both of you to stay here. And, we'll, of course, contribute because we're paying the rent and mortgage or whatever and the lights and all that stuff here. But, everything concerning with this baby, that's on you. And make sure they understand that you have expectations and responsibilities. And sign it so that they can't say that they didn't know. Give them a copy and you guys keep a copy. Okay, it could even be posted prominently on some place where, like in their bedroom or something. I don't know. You don't want to be where everybody can see it, like in the kitchen where other guests can see it and all of that. But, you want to put it someplace where they can have a constant reminder that this is their expectation. That's what my suggestion is. And your son is a Dusty, by the way. Hate to tell you, Daddy. Question number 17. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's a Leo out of Los Angeles. I would like to ask how I can repair relationships when I'm the one who let it fall apart. 2 years ago, I went through some weird fears of leaving certain areas of where I live. It got to the point where I couldn't leave a 5-block perimeter, then just my house. I used to go out with friends a lot, and when this happened, I was scared to go anywhere, basically. I explained it to my friends and everyone around me like family. My family got extremely frustrated. My friends seemed to understand, but then got frustrated when I couldn't make certain plans. I don't know what was happening. I didn't know what was happening to me, but I would fall into a panic when I had to go to certain places. I worked through that on my own, but I distanced myself fully from my friends and moved from my family. 2 years later, I have no friends, and it makes me really frustrated with myself and sad. I feel like there's something wrong with me. The idea of dating is not appealing to me either, so I don't know why, because everyone is doing that now. Maybe it's because I'm in my apartment alone all the time. It didn't bother me for these last years, but now it does. I'm considering if I can repair my friendships. I'm worried because I'm a very dependent person, so while I don't want a romantic relationship, I found friends in the past and they put my all into that. I hated being home, so I always went out with my friends. Do I press restart and consider where I am for age 21? I have a job at a tech company, so I've always had work to occupy my mind. It's a hybrid right now, so I work from home a lot. I think my biggest question is, why am I so obsessed with wanting friends, and is this typical? Thank you, squad. I love you guys. Okay, so she's looking for some input from y'all as well. Sounds to me there is a mental disease, mental health issue with that. What they call it, where you can't leave your house. It's a real thing. I'm shocked that you were able to get through that by yourself. Most people have to get some serious therapy for that, but if you made it happen, good for you. It shows you have a lot of strength that you probably didn't even know you had. I would suggest this: if you still have any contact with those friends, invite them over. Plan a girls' lunches. I don't know, something, whatever what y'all do these days, you young people. Have some, invite them over to your house. Set up some food and sit down and tell them what happened to you and why you distance yourself from everybody. Okay, because they don't know. And when people don't know why you're not talking to them, they're going to take it personally. They're going to think that, that you think you're too good, or that they did something, or mad at them about something. They're going to think something like that. And so until the air is cleared, of course they're going to continue to avoid you because they don't know why you stopped talking to them. You didn't offer an explanation, right? So you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to, suck it up, girlfriend. Send a group text or something and say, I would like to invite you guys over on Saturday for lunch or whatever, and explain to you why I've been so distant from everyone. Please understand, it's nothing personal. None of you did anything to me. I was having some problems, and I'll explain everything to you when you get here. Okay? I really miss you. I really love you. Whatever you want to say, and I would like to clear the air between us. Something like that. Use your own words. Oh yeah, agoraphobia. Thank you. That's right. See, so that's what you had. Look that up, and that's what you were suffering from. But you can explain all of that to them, and if they really are true friends and understanding, they'll probably all get be a big group hug, and then you'll be right back in there. But it's gonna call. This is your call. You're gonna be the one that's gonna have to extend the olive branch. I know that's what it is. They just like she just dropped out. She don't want to talk to us. What's the problem? What do we do to her? It's gonna be that kind of stuff. But don't worry about that. You're gonna have to suck it up. This is on you. Okay, you're gonna have to be the one to try to fix this all by yourself. And then once you do, clear the air. It's gonna be on them if they want to continue the relationship or not. But I have a feeling, once you really explain it to them and let them know that it wasn't anything that they did, that they'll be open to it and probably, want to hear all about what happened and stuff. So, yeah, you can also, now that everything's opening back up, look into some meetups. I don't know if they'll be, what do you like to do outside of work at the tech company and be in the house? What do you like to do for fun? Meetups it's my go-to. And they have groups that go out to dinner. They have ladies groups that go out to drink. They have movie nights with people that go rotate to different people's houses or whatever. I mean, now that COVID is pretty much under control, these people are getting back out and socializing, doing them kind of thing. So look into some meetups in your area and see what you can find, and then get your little butt out the house into your car and go. Okay, meet some new people. And the final question, I can't believe it. I did two more than last couple of weeks. Whew. Okay, the last one. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group. She's a Pisces, and she's from New Jersey. Hello, Miss Candace, Miss Shay, and Miss Deb. First, I want to wish you a steady and solid recovery, Auntie Deb. I'm glad it wasn't worse. Yeah, me too, girl. Ooh. But let me start. I'm a shy 28-year-old woman who, for the majority of my life, didn't have boundaries. I was raised not to have them. I recently ended a relationship in August 2021 after not knowing how to properly communicate my wants, stand up for myself, and blindly agreeing with what my ex said. In retrospect, he had so many dusty traits that it makes me sneeze now. After watching your videos and taking notes, I know I don't want to enter a relationship just to be miserable again. But my question is, I'm still working on asserting my boundaries and sticking to them. But do you think it's best to start dating after I got my boundaries on lock, or can I date while I'm still working on them? That's a good question. Okay, let me think about this for a second. I'm going to say this. Boundaries and establishing them is the kind of thing that is situational. And until you are in the situations, you won't really, you could practice and tell yourself what you're going to do and all this kind of stuff, and that will be helpful, trust me. But until the situation actually presents itself, you're not faced with the challenge of actually having to do the things that you think that you are getting on quote lock. Boundaries require practice. Have you done that? Have you been, like putting yourself in certain situations and then asserting yourself and because you kind of get like a warm up practice and less risky situations than a dating situation? Maybe with friends, saying no to people, demanding certain things, speaking up for what you want versus just going along with the program. Little things, little tests of your strength and your boundaries. Have you been doing that? That's what I think. To me, you can't really know how to exert boundaries and how to maintain them unless you're in a situation where you're being challenged to do that. So you can do it dating, but you could try to do it, with what you say, have it on lock. But I think that's not the whole story. You're only gonna really be able to really see how well you do and really set some really strong, firm boundaries once you're actually in the situation where that's necessary. So the dating would be a good test. But like I said, you should have done some other tests among friends, family, co-workers and stuff like that, neighbors, whatever, first, because dating is a whole new bag of tricks. And a lot of these dudes are like I hate to say it, they're like sociopaths. And so they know all the tricks, all of them, to get you to do what they want. And if you're not, real secure in yourself yet, you will be mincemeat, like prey to a dude like that. So try seeing if you can set up something where you can work with your friends, or come to y'all, go through some situations, and what would you do, what would you say, kind of thing, so that you get some actual practice in doing it and saying what you need to say before you start involving these rogue guys in your life. So I'm giving you an answer. You need to do kind of a hybrid of the two, and I think that will work out the best. That's just my opinion, though. But I just think, yeah, they saying watch all the video. The ones about the dudes, I'll try to remember to put some links, on this question, like the one I think is the best, and some stuff at the end about that, because there's some couple of videos on boundaries on the channel. One I did by myself, or maybe two I did by myself, and then I had some different guests for February. So it's probably about 4 or 5 videos just on women setting boundaries. And then there's some about these guys with narcissistic personality disorder that are very manipulative, and the games that men play. All of those will come and give you some ideas about the kind of stuff that you might be running into out here. But even something as simple as you telling him, I don't take calls after 10 o'clock because I have to get up early for work, and he calls at 10:30, and you answer the phone and you still talk to him. That was a test, and if you talk to him, you failed. What you're supposed to do is put your phone on do not disturb at 10 o'clock, so you still can get a call. If it's emergency, you can set it up so there's certain people that can still get through anyway. But dusty buckets, they ain't on the list. Stuff like that. So like if your parents are, you got somebody who's having a baby or whatever, well, that number will come through anyway. You can set it up like that, some phones. But I can't believe I made it. I'm tired though. I'm still trying to Cooper. I'm telling you, he's doing this thing. I didn't realize how tight my hip flexors were from those 2 months of sitting, after the stroke, just sitting around because I couldn't do anything. I could barely walk and he was using a walker. I mean, it was horrible. And so, I sat down most of the time and my hip flexors got so tight. He put me on that table and he said, okay, I'm put this leg, hang this leg over the side. And he mashed my leg because it was kind of arched up because the muscles are so tight. He mashed down my leg on the table. I broke out into a sweat and started screaming. Then he had me doing these other things. I was like, dude, you're killing me. You're killing me here. I was still trying to recover. It was just awful. But, it's what you got to do. So I'm trying to I'm just trying to suck it up and not be a big whiny crybaby. But I'm telling you, it's very hard. Because I was like ready to throw all my pride out the window and just scream like a little bitch. But anyway, before you guys get up out of here, make sure you hit that like button. Share any video, doesn't have to be this one. And subscribe to the channel. And we will be back on Thursday of next week with the next edition of What the Fuck Thursday. And then I'm going to try to get back on a Tuesday schedule once we get into June. But if you have a question that you want to submit, look in the show description down below. Fill out the form. Submit your question for consideration. You guys have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.